I'm knocking the rust off. Full disclosure, your announcer has not done this in over a decade, so please be patient. But here's your lineup. Dalton Williamson rolling off on the pole with a 20.559, and he got that right at the end of qualifying, knocking off outside pole sitter Mike Main. And it was pretty close. They both ran 5s. As a matter of fact, the entire field has been pretty close tonight. Looking back into row 2, Donald Fisher. We call him Fish. This is his first race with this league, but he has a lot of experience behind the wheel in a legend car. To his outside is Don Koneman. He came in second in the points championship last year and won a lot of races, and he's looking to follow that performance up. Back a row from there, we've got Stephen Kiefer in the Rustmobile, and to his outside, the Fireball machine of TJ Tom Johnson. Back a row from there, Jason Lance, last season's champion in the street stocks, running the Icy machine. We call him the Iceman. I call him that, at least. And to his outside, it's Matthew Stern in the number 4. Back a row from there, the number 99, Johnny Berardi. And lined up right next to him is Tim Obert in the 51. Back a row from there, we have Eddie Hawks in the 45. Lining up next to Thomas Wise in the 3. Now we're getting out into the weeds. Here's a couple of cars towards the back that did not take time. Andrew Smith in the 87, and the number 32 of Billy Wise. Alright, we are rolling off the grid. Should be 2 laps to green. And we are going 125 laps tonight. A couple things of note. Fuel numbers, even with a full tank, these drivers may not be able to make the entire 125 lap distance. The number I was hearing in practice was around 113, so a lot of this is going to depend on cautions, of which there may be a couple, there may be none, of course, so a lot of drivers kind of waiting to see how their strategies will work out. We do have a couple cars with connectivity issues towards the rear. If you take a look at Dalton Williamson here in the number 2. He's been having a little bit of connectivity issues during practice, as well as qualifying, so he is starting in the back as we are going green already. It looks like a great start for Fish as he holds on to the lead on the inside of Mike Main. And they're 2 by 2 all the way down. We got a spinner in the back. Looks like no harm, no foul. That was the number 3, Thomas Wise, as we slow down for the pace car. And we step away for a minute for a caution. Just about to get ready to go green here once more. We are currently only a couple laps into this thing. We had our first caution for a single car spin. 4 laps in with Fisher leading the way. Mike Main sitting second. This should be 1 to green here at the stripe. Starting order is mostly unchanged as we did not get too far into turn 1 before that little whoopsie. So they line up 2 by 2 here. Looking further back in the field, that's kind of where any shifts that were going to happen happened. As you see, Williamson still struggling a little bit with the internet, and that car blinking in and out, and that is a shame because he was absolutely flying in practice. So we'll have to see if he can get that sorted out, or what's going to happen as we get ready to go green once again. Fisher, another great start for him. They're going to try and get single file here, I'd imagine. Everybody kind of looking for a place to go here. It's a bit of a one-groove track, especially in this car, so a lot of scrambling, a lot of jockeying right now. As you see, we're side-by-side for 3rd place here. That's Stephen Kiefer underneath Don Koneman, and we got another spin. That is Matthew Stern. Looks like he backed it into the fence there. Let's see if there's any damage to his automobile. It's looking pretty clean on the 3 corners that we can see here. Looks like he got out of that one pretty unscathed. So we will be checking back in when we get ready to go green next.
Hey Jacob, where would be a really cool place to see one of our Simabilty products?
How about the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte, North Carolina?
So, big thanks to the NASCAR Hall of Fame and going above and beyond in setting up this ADA compliant simulator, and thanks for choosing Simability.
And we are back here on lap number 10 of 125. Those drivers looking to save fuel are probably counting their lucky stars right now. All the cars that started the race are still running. The running order towards the front remains relatively the same as it was. There's been a little bit of shifting. I've noticed Dalton Williamson also starting to come up from the back as the pace car's off again. And Fish gets another fantastic start coming off of turn 4. Mike Main going to slip in behind him, and once again we are side by side for third with Don Koneman and Stephen Kiefer. Koneman gets the momentum as we got a battle for the lead now. Main dips underneath the 16 of Fish. They're going to touch. Oh, not quite. Main's going to lead this lap by a nose. Here comes Don Koneman looking down low underneath the 16. Can't quite get there as the momentum's going to pull the 16 off the top side. Just a little bit quicker. Koneman still got his nose in there as he makes a deep dive into turn number 3, and he's got the position at the moment. But at the stripe, it's still going to be Fisher taking that second spot. And we're still too wide all the way down, looks like. Couple cars scraping the wall off turn 2. No harm, no foul. As this battle for second continues on, Fish is going to back out of it and slip in behind Koneman. Looking a little bit further back, the Icy Man coming up to 4th place. That is Jason Lance, and he is fighting hard with the 22 of Stephen Kiefer and the 2 of Dalton Williamson, who still seems to be experiencing a little bit of lag. We're going to keep an eye on that, see how that goes. Once again, battle for the lead. Mike Main has it, and Don Koneman wants it. Koneman down to the bottom. He's going to swing it by him, looks like in one clean move. Main gonna back out of it, stay behind him a little bit, as cars are starting to get single file here. And you're going to see if we get these long green flag runs, cars are going to start getting single file and stay in single file. Williamson's continuing his charge up from the back. This puts him in 5th at the moment. He's thinking about 4th. He's giving it a little thought. And I tell you, those top 3 are just getting right back after each other. This is lap number 17 going away here of 125. As Main's going to get a run. A little bit of a bobble out of Koneman. Fish almost tags the wall there coming out of turn number 2. Put Mike Main back up in the lead. Big wiggle out of Koneman. He's in the wall. A couple cars getting out of shape there out of turn 4. And it has been extra greasy there all night. So not a big surprise to see cars getting loose. Very nice surprise to see cars saving it. I'll have to see if any damage was received by either of those cars. Current running order is Main, Fisher, Koneman, Williamson, Lance, Kiefer, Johnson, Hawks, Stern, Berardi, Thomas Wise, Billy. Whoa! And right as I'm talking about that, we've got a massive crash on the backstretch. Looks like Koneman involved. Eddie Hawks is involved. Stephen Kiefer. We're going to go back and take a quick gander at what happened there. Looks like, once again, the greasiness of the track getting in the way here. We had Tim Obert coming out of the pits, and I don't know if that might have been a factor in, maybe Don looked to the left there, but the car gets loose. He gets the wall absolutely just destroyed by the Icy Man. Here comes Stephen Kiefer in, just nowhere to go. Well, looks like Hawks made it through okay. Obert made it through okay. I seem to have misidentified the other car. That was actually the Icy Man, Jason Lance. So, pretty brutal stuff on the backstretch. The race of the or the complexion of the race, I should say, is due to change quite a bit here. So we'll check back in and see how that's going after this caution.
Bring your driver to life with custom-designed racing hero cards. Perfect for fans, sponsors, autograph sessions, and race day promotions. High-quality design, personalized layouts, and attention to every detail that makes your brand stand out. Turn your racing story into something fans can take home.
Welcome back, everyone. We are on lap number 23 of 125 here at New Smyrna, with Mike Main still leading, and he has been holding off one hell of a charge from Fish, as well as from Don Koneman, who after that vicious crash on the backstretch is going to be restarting toward the back. So he's got a big mountain to climb as we go green again. Looks like Fish may have missed his shift. The whole outside line gets backed up, and it looks like everybody's going to come out of it okay. It's still a little sketchy back there with some side-by-side, but looks like we're no longer 3 wide. Everybody trying to kind of find a place to slot in here. Pretty big battle here between TJ and the 99 of Johnny Berardi. That's TJ Tom Johnson up on the top, trying to get him with a little bit of momentum. He's side by side with him. Just got a little bit more oomph off the top side of the corner. We'll see if he can do that again in 4 as they get together. Oof. That could have been a lot worse than it ended up being. Still a pretty sizable pack here in the back, as you can see Koneman trying to work his way up. He goes around Berardi, who's still getting back up to speed. Meanwhile, things are tightening up at the front again. Here comes the 4 of Matthew Stern. He had that spin earlier. Looks like he's recovered quite well from it. And Eddie Hawks there in the 45 with the pretty lady on the back is up into 3rd place. Now, he's one tough customer. He ran up front a lot in the street stock last season. He won at least 1 race to memory. And he's looking to pick up where he left off as Stern goes after Fish for the 4th position. Williamson getting loose up there in 2nd. Fish almost banks off the wall. A lot of cars scraping the wall a little further back. I see Koneman here is looking under Stephen Kiefer as up ahead Stern and Fish go at it again. This time it's going to fall to Stern. Okie dokie. Let's take a look a little bit further back here. We see Koneman has gotten up into position number 7. And cars have finally gotten single file, so we may be settling in for a nice long green flag run here. Drivers who may have been saving fuel might not be doing that anymore with the number of cautions we've had to date. But some drivers still might be pedaling a little bit less. So we'll keep an eye on comers and goers, see whose tires get hot, see whose strategy does what. As Williamson's looking for the lead, and his connectivity looks to have gotten a little bit better here. Hopefully that holds out as he takes the lead from Mike Main. He's almost clear of him. Main throws it into turn 3 on the top. And Williamson blinks out again, so that's a situation we'll want to keep an eye on. A lot of connectivity issues go away when there are not cars in front of you, so maybe being in the lead is part of his strategy to deal with that. Got a 5-car breakaway up front, single file all the way down. Really, the best battles are for 1st and for 3rd at the moment. Eddie Hawks is under attack from a hard charging Matt Stern. And, I mean, Stern has got a whole new lease on life after that spin as he drags Fish up with him past the number 45 of Hawks. Williamson, Main, Stern, Fish, and then Eddie Hawks. And look who is right up behind that group. He just got by the 23 of Tom Johnson. That is Don Koneman. So he's not out of this thing yet, folks. Just give him a chance. He's probably going to be back up here fighting for a top 5, if not more. So let's take a look at some lap times now that things are relatively calm. Right now, if we were to look at Dalton Williamson, he has been clicking off some fast ones here. That is practice. So let's look at race. He's running a lot of 20s. His quickest was a 20 with a 5, but he's been clicking off 7 after 7 after 7. And I do believe that's going to be another 7. Mike Main behind him, he's been also clicking off 7s with 1-8 at the end. These two back here are the two that I think are probably the fastest on the track at the moment. We can see Matt Stern ran a 6 back on lap 34. And on lap 36, he's going to come away with another 6. So they're starting to sneak up on these two up front. If we go a little bit further back, Eddie Hawks looks to have fallen off those two a little bit. And then there's another little pack of 3 that's starting to pull its way up towards the front here. And that one is led by the 97 of Koneman. Now, the way iRacing's drafting model works, these cars are drafting on this track, which we could debate how realistic that might be, but as Fish goes for a move under the 4 of Stern, Stern hits the wall in almost the exact same place, and the yellow is out again. Absolutely heartbreaking for Matt Stern. He was one of the fastest cars on the track and was making inroads towards the front of the field. That's just really unfortunate for him as we go under caution here on lap number 39. So we'll be back as we get ready to go green flag racing once again. Okay, a couple tire changes and a couple position changes. Fish is up front. That's Don Fisher. Eddie Hawks now second. Don Coleman back up to third. Tom Johnson, Stephen Kiefer, Jason Lance, Billy Wise, Thomas Wise, Mike Main, and Dalton Williamson rounding out the top 10 as we get ready to go green. Williamson and Main both pitted from the front of the field to get tires and probably fuel, if I had to guess. Fisher picking right up where he left off and getting a great start as he beats the 45 of Eddie Hawks, the car with the pretty lady, on back into turn 1. Koneman's getting tired of looking at that pretty lady. Here he goes into number 3, or turn number 3, I should say. Big dive, clears him off of 4, and we got a whole jailbreak going on behind him, 2 and 3 wide back there. TJ Tom Johnson shakes out in 4th. That's going to be Stephen Kiefer sitting in 5th. And the number 76, Jason Lance, trying to make something happen up here on the top groove. As our other Thomas Wise, gets way wide come out of 4. He's able to gather it back up there. Almost gets into Andrew Smith, but not quite. And I mean, there's action going on from the front of the back to this thing. Take your pick where you want to look. You could throw a blanket over all of them. Right now, the leaders are side by side, and that is the 97 Koneman looking for the lead. He's looking pretty good for it right now. Not enough momentum for Fisher to get anything going coming off of turn number 2, and that is going to turn the lead over to Don Koneman, as Eddie Hawks also takes a look. Not quite able to get there. Now, they're coming up on the lap-down vehicle of Matt Stern. He had to get some damage fixed in that last one, and, you know, he's currently 4 laps down. Really doesn't want to go 5 down. As we look a little further back, Williamson making inroads on the top lane. He's fighting with Jason Lance and Stephen Kiefer just behind Mike Main there. Both Main and Williamson kind of just been picking cars off, slowly working their way back up front. But Williamson looks like he's trapped in a bit of a box here. As he blinks out again, that connectivity not looking good. He's still working his way under Kiefer. And it should get a little tight here going into 1. Looks like Kiefer can still see him despite the blink. And that is going to... Oh, Kiefer gets the wall. Oh, my goodness. That did not look fun. Looked like the car got a little bit up in the air. He was able to recover it okay. So Mark Williamson up another spot and Kiefer down 2 as Williamson sets his sights on Mike Main. Now, as you recall, both of these guys took tires and fuel. So they have been coming up from the back, and they were already battling at the front before the caution came out. Now they still got a long way to go, but it looks like they're going to sort their differences out here before they get to the front, as Williamson takes another spot away. Further back, Jason Lance and Stephen Kiefer are doing battle with Billy Wise, and we haven't gotten a chance to talk much about Billy Wise so far, but he has been hanging in there in this big pack in the back where they have been 2 and sometimes 3 wide all race long. As we got another battle up front, let's go take a look-see. They are lapping the 4 of Matt Stern. I got very excited, but it is not for position. Unfortunately for Matt Stern, that is going to put him 5 laps down. That is a big mountain to climb. Williamson coming after Hawks, and Tom Johnson sneaking his way up in there. Well, your announcer was distracted by lapped cars. Looks like there's been a lot of moving and shaking going on as Williamson blinks out again. Hawks able to see him, but that may have made it a little bit scarier to dive into the bottom there on 3. And he ends up backing out of it just a bit. And we're yellow again. Let's spot here in turn number 4 has just been rough all night. Right as drivers are putting the power down, the car just comes out from under him. So tough break for Berardi. Hopefully is able to stay on the lead lap. We'll be checking back in when we're getting ready to go green. Getting ready to go to 1-2 green here. This is going to be lap number 58, so we'll be crossing for 59 when we take the green. Koneman has been out front for the last couple laps, and he's looking pretty good, but on these restarts, Fisher has really been giving him a run for his money. That is fun to say, folks. Fisher. Dalton Williamson in the second row alongside TJ, Tom Johnson, Mike Main back up there in 5th, Jason Lance, Stephen Kiefer, Billy Wise, Andrew Smith, and Thomas Wise rounding out the top 10 as we go green again. And this time it's Koneman who gets a great start going down into 1. And he's dragging the number 2 of Dalton Williamson and the 96 of Mike Main with him. Main not quite able to get under that 16 car yet, and they end up single file. Main makes a big move down into 3. He is definitely under the 16. Can he pull him on momentum? Yes, Mike Main is now 3rd place going into turn 1. And here comes Tom Johnson also looking under the 16. So Fish struggling just a little bit there as Williamson is starting to knock on the door of that number 97, Don Koneman. Also, apologies, drivers, when you're watching this. I may mispronounce your name. Please forgive me. I have not done this in 10 years. A little bit of contact between the number 16 and the wall. Fisher just having a real rough go of it on this particular restart. As Stephen Kiefer goes after Tom Johnson. That is for 5th. He's not quite going to get under him yet, but we'll keep one eye on that. One eye on the battle between Jason Lance and Billy Wise, who just took that spot. And one eye up front, because all the heavy hitters are here. The top 4 have all led laps today. And they, well, actually, don't quote me on that. I don't know if Dalton has led any laps yet. He probably did, just guessing from past experience. And chances are he's going to lead a few more before it's over, as long as his internet holds out. Main looked under him there, thinks a little better of it, slows it down for now. Behind that 4-car breakaway is a little 2-car pack, but Andrew Smith's starting to make some noise as he begins to reel these guys in. And I talked about this much earlier in the race, that there were going to be comers and goers. Some of these guys were saving their stuff for the end. And, you know, we're coming up on halfway. I believe we were passing it right here, so a lot of these guys are going to start to turn the volume up just a little bit. Let's take a little in-car look at that battle going on for the 5th position. That is the 23 of Tom Johnson up on the outside and the 22 of Stephen Kiefer down on the inside. And these two have been absolutely going at it the past few laps. giving each other plenty of room, but really, really racing hard and respectfully. And that's what we like to see here in Simabilty. That outside momentum is working pretty well, and I did mention this being a one-groove track earlier, but as with most one-groove tracks, if you can pinch somebody down on the inside, you can kind of hold your own up there on the top. As our camera car gets in real close there, this is becoming a three-car battle. That was the 87 of Andrew Smith we were riding with there, and we're yellow again. Let's see what happened. That may have been Eddie Hawks in the 45. Yes, looks like a solo spin out of the 45 of Eddie Hawks off of number 2. Backs it into the fence there. Bumper is a little bent, but hopefully the car is okay. We'll be back when it's time to go green again.
Hey, Jacob. Where would be a really cool place to see one of our Simabilty products?
How about the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte, North Carolina?
So, big thanks to the NASCAR Hall of Fame and going above and beyond in setting up this ADA compliant simulator, and thanks for choosing Simabilty.
Alright, we're back here at New Smyrna Speedway with 76 laps complete now. We've had a lot of different leaders tonight, but I would like to highlight one of them. The pace car has been doing a phenomenal job tonight, leading a whole lot of laps. Hopefully we're going to get him out of here soon, and we're not going to have to deal with him again, as cars are getting double file for the restart. Koneman's been having some excellent starts, and it seems like a lot of times the car on pole position tonight has had a big advantage, be it Fisher, be it Koneman, even Mike Main, as we are going green, and your announcer's a little bit behind. I apologize for that. As we do the time warp into turn number 1, Williamson really, really pulling up on the back of that 97 as Fisher gets the wall behind him. Oh, it's getting tight up front, folks. Williamson all over the back end of that number 97 at Koneman. And Mike Main there looking for a dancing partner. We got side by side for the 6th position, a little bit back from that. The Iceman cometh as he makes his way down underneath the 32 of Billy Wise. He's trying to pull him here, and they're still fighting for the lead. Oh, almost contact between the 76 and the 32. Great driving out of both of them to avoid calamity there. I will note, fuel is no longer an issue. We have definitely had enough caution laps that no one's going to need to be saving. Tires, most people have taken their tires or chosen not to. So we have kind of reached a point where it's all going to be in the driver's hands now. As Jason Lance sneaks by for 6th. And we got a spinner on the front stretch. Andrew Smith may have actually bent the rear of that car earlier because it just shot straight into the inside wall. We do stay green. Smith's car is pretty battered. I don't see a lot of damage on it, honestly, but he hit the wall pretty good with the wheel. And we are now yellow for a spin from Billy Wise in turn 4. That might have been a single car spin. Let's go back and take a peek here. Oh, that is tough. They were almost 3 wide there. Hawks really, really got in deep, and I think he thought there might have been a little more room than there was. He might also lost control. Definitely not something I would say was on purpose, but he does get up into the side of the 32. And fortunately, everybody misses it. So, good news there. Bad news for Billy Wise, who was having a really strong run up toward the front of the field. Lap 86, we are 1 lap away from going green. Make sure we are live this time. Very good. Alright, I'm remembering things, I'm learning things, folks. This is a growing experience for all of us, I'm sure. Koneman looking to fire off first once more. Dalton Williamson gonna try and see if he can beat that outside pole curse where the outside line has just not been able to keep up with the leader. He blinks a little bit again and we're green. He does get a relatively good start, good enough that he should be able to get single file behind Koneman. Main once again shakes out in third, with Fisher in fourth. Back behind him, Eddie Hawks making his way up. He goes around the outside of the Icy Man, Jason Lance, and takes that spot away. So new fifth place runner. You could absolutely throw a blanket over these top four, I would say, probably top five. We got a second pack back there further back. I think that is Matt Stern that almost got the walls. We got a battle for the lead. Williamson's going to take it. He kind of slides up there in front of the 97. He has to get out of it, and Koneman falls to second. Oh, Williamson blinking again. Now, this could be make or break for him. Much like a mechanical failure in real life, computer issues are what get you in iRacing. So you could say this is equivalent to maybe some steam coming out of the radiator overflow. It's definitely something you want to keep an eye on, but hopefully not terminal. Koneman, Main, and Fisher still keeping up with him. I'm not 100% sure on the correlation between connectivity and draft, which is a feature that these legend cars have even on a track this small, which, while a little unrealistic, is undeniably a factor in this race. It does still seem to be holding it pretty strong, if I had to guess, because Koneman is getting up on his bumper by the end of the straightaway. As we got the Iceman coming once again to the bottom, not quite able to get by him. Eddie Hawks holds strong with the momentum on the outside. Oh, Hawks got very, very wide there, and he's looking to lose 2 or 3 positions as Kiefer gets by him. We're yellow, and your lovely announcer missed another one. Let's go back and see. Oh, Koneman just loses it on the straightaway. Nowhere to go for Mike Main. Both cars absolutely shredded by the inside wall. And that is a very, very tough break for two competitors who had been leading laps, been up front all race long. There's only one fast repair here on Simabilty. And boy, howdy, if Mike Main hasn't used his, he's going to have to. Look at that left front wheel. Right front wheel's not even on the ground. Left front wheel may be a broken tie rod end. That thing is just dragging under the car. The 97 back here, he also has got a wheel dragging. That's the left front. That fender's been obliterated. Radiator's got not much in front of it right now. So here's the moment. Do they have fast repairs or not? Let's watch their cars as they come into the pits here. That is a shame on lap 94. We were really getting close to the end of this thing as Main's car gives up on him. Oh, not quite. Okay, he gets it going. There is a whole lot of moving and shaking going on here. Main's going to reach his pit stall first. Let's see. Does he have a fast repair? Cross your fingers, folks. He does. And let's see for the number 97 here. That's a spicy meatball. I don't think that dog going to hunt. Unfortunately for Don Koneman, it looks like he's going to have to get that thing fixed as best he can and attempt to finish. That is a really, really tough break for one of the drivers that I definitely had a shot, or thought had a shot to win tonight. There's been 4 cars in the mix constantly, and he was absolutely one of the strongest. So that's going to shake up our running order a bit. Quite a bit, in fact. Let's see, Fisher is your current leader. Jason Lance all the way up to second. Stephen Kiefer now third. Eddie Hawks back up to fourth. TJ, Tom Johnson rounding out the top 5. Andrew Smith, Billy Wise, Thomas Wise, Johnny Berardi, and Dalton Williamson are now the top 10. Williamson under that yellow seems to have pitted for connectivity issues as we get ready to go green once again. Keep an eye on that ice blue number 96 of Mike Main. I don't think he's done yet. As we're green off of 4. Great start for Jason Lance on the outside. He is pulling even with Fisher. He's still got that line up on the top. If he can get into 3 deep enough, he might have a shot. As we're about to go 3 wide further back, cars checking up and scrambling everywhere, trying not to end up in that situation. And we're starting to see some real moves up front. Drivers getting antsy, getting impatient as laps wind down here. Eddie Hawks currently under attack from 2 different cars. The 87, who earlier you saw get the wall a couple of times. He's got that thing pointed in the right direction again and is heading up front. They're both chasing the pretty lady on the back of that number 45 of Hawks. Smith gets a little wide there. He's going to cede a little bit of space to the 22 of Kiefer. Kiefer gets shallow into 3, though. Momentum favors Kiefer as they're 3 wide behind him. We got cars bouncing off the wall. And they all manage to stay off each other. Into the wall again goes Smith, and that is a tough, tough break. He was getting up front. He finally had the car working, and turn 2 reached out and bit him. Williamson now is all the way back up to 5th. And perhaps his latency issues have been solved because I'm not seeing that car blink in and out of existence. Now, if we look a couple cars back from there, Mike Main is now sneaking up. He's trying to get around Billy Wise. Looks as if Kohnman has thrown in the towel for tonight as we go. Oh my goodness! It looked like the 87 and the 96 were both going for the same piece of real estate there into turn 1. Meanwhile, further back, the 3 spun. Your guess is as good as mine as to which brought out the caution. I am assuming it was for Thomas Wise here. Same thing we saw with Don Koneman. Just getting crossed up, coming off of 4. You try to get to the power, and you end up having a tank slapper. So that is very unfortunate. For the number 3. Just a lot of tough breaks to go around. We see Mike Main ends up getting back in line here. Saw Andrew Smith take a heck of a wall up coming off of 2. And, you know, as things shake out, those top 4 who all had a shot are starting to fall by the wayside. Fisher's still up there. But Williamson and Main further back, and of course Don Koneman out of the race at this stage. As we see Matt Stern getting another of his laps back. He's looking like he's at least going to be able to finish ahead of Koneman. Depending on the number of cautions we get, he might end up further up than that, but we have got 20 laps to go at this point. So he's running low on time. A lot of these fellas running low on time. As we take a short break for the caution, we'll be back.
Bring your driver to life with custom-designed racing hero cards. Perfect for fans, sponsors, autograph sessions, and race day promotions. High-quality design, personalized layouts, and attention to every detail that makes your brand stand out. Turn your racing story into something fans can take home.
Buckle up, folks. We have got under 20 laps to go now. Fisher still your leader. Lance, Hawks, Kiefer, Williamson, Johnson, Billy Wise, Andrew Smith, Johnny Berardi, and Tim Obert now the top 10. And a couple of incidents have put Tom Wise and Mike Main back out of the top 10. And then 5 laps down, running a little bit further back, is Matt Stern as we go green again. Great start for Fisher, as usual. Hawks looking for second. He's in there, but he's not in there enough. Sometimes you get your foot in the door and it closes anyway. Things tightening up from 3rd place on back. Hawks still holding on to 3rd on the bottom, but here comes Stephen Kiefer up the outside, and he surges just a little bit ahead going into 1. Hawks, Kiefer, and now Williamson also in the mix. He looks to still be having those latency issues, which is really not going to be fun in traffic. Kiefer, big run through 1 and 2. Stalls out a little bit towards the exit, and Hawks pulls up on him. Very, very tight battling here. You may notice the cars are a little closer together now than they were earlier, as Jason Lance goes for the lead. It's kind of a late dive, but he was able to secure the bottom, just wasn't able to do anything with it. But a lot of courtesy going out the window now. These guys are racing hard. Williamson and Hawks a little contact there. Probably a 0x, but definitely one of them ones that kind of makes you inhale through your teeth. Gosh, they are getting very close to that wall off of turn number 2, folks. 4 as well. You know, we've seen a lot of bad things happen on corner exit, and as these guys push these cars harder, we might see a few more yet. Williamson to the outside of Kiefer. He sweeps into 3rd place. Oh, we got ourselves a battle for the lead once again. Jason Lance going for it. And that was a much earlier move to the inside. He made his presence known, and unfortunately it is just not sticking down there for him. Williamson, on the other hand, gets a massive run up the outside, but that stalls out when he gets in behind Fisher. Fisher going to hold the bottom here. Lance also holding the bottom. Williamson swinging high, wide, and handsome around the outside, and he has got 2nd, and he's got connectivity issues again. Let's get our camera back. I don't know where he is, and unfortunately the drivers on the track don't either, so they're having to give a lot of room here. As we go yellow again, a couple drivers probably breathing a sigh of relief. Trying to see, it looks like Matt Stern might have been involved in that one. I did see him tow, and he has left the session, so I'm assuming, unfortunately, that's going to be the end of his night. That's going to leave us with very few laps to go on this restart. Things are about to get real weird, folks, so stay tuned.
Hey, Jacob, where would be a really cool place to see one of our Simabilty products?
How about the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte, North Carolina?
So, big thanks to the NASCAR Hall of Fame and going above and beyond in setting up this ADA compliant simulator, and thanks for choosing Simabilty.
1 lap to green, 6 laps to go, going to be 5 laps to go at the stripe. If you showed up for a show, here it is. Pace car getting ready to pull off. Williamson pulling up next to Fisher. We are green for one more time here at New Smyrna. And Williamson's gone again. Fisher trying to just smell where Williamson might be. And it looks like he is to the outside of Fisher. He's pulling him down the back chute. Here comes Jason Lance. Stephen Kiefer in the mix. TJ in the mix. Oh, it's getting intense, folks. We're 2 wide all the way down. As once again, Williamson trying to make something happen on the top. Further back, the 32 of Wise gets in the wall. He gathers it up. Deep into the corner. That's TJ with a big dive down onto the bottom there underneath Kiefer. It didn't quite stick, though, as we got cars bouncing off each other, and Hawks is around again. Now, this is probably going to cause us to have a green-white checker. I do want to go back and take a quick look at what happened there. There was a lot of close quarters racing and not a lot of room for drivers to negotiate here. And it looks like, once again, turn 4 bit him. You get on the gas coming out of 4, and the back end will just kind of go out on you. That's a real tough break for Hawks. Fortunately, nobody got into him. So he's going to have another try at this thing on the green-white checker if we indeed do get one. I'm assuming we're going to get one. The HUD says yes. The HUD says yes. We're getting a green-white checker, and I couldn't be more excited for this. We get one more shot for a lot of these drivers who have been trying to step to Fisher. Fisher's done a fantastic job holding off every challenger, but as the intensity level cranks up, folks are driving a little bit more aggressively, trying to get by him. He's only got to do it a couple more laps. Take one last quick break here, and we'll return for the finale. Trophy of the steering wheel. You're going to come out of here with some. Are 2 laps away from the final restart, and we take a look at the results part of the HUD over here. Fisher's still leading. I believe he has led the most laps today, but don't quote me on that because it's probably wrong. Dalton Williamson sitting second, Jason Lance, Stephen Kiefer, and Tom Johnson the top 5. Mike Main has got his way back up into 6th. Then it's Andrew Smith, Billy Wise, Johnny Berardi, and Thomas Wise making his way back up into the top 10. Tim Obert since 11th. Eddie Hawks currently in 12th after that spin. Matthew Stern and Don Koneman out. This is it. This is the moment as the pace car gets ready. You notice how much closer these guys are coming to this restart. Pace car's off. Green flag is out. And still kind of a rough start for the number 2 of Williamson, but not as rough as they were earlier tonight. They are 3 wide. Look at Eddie Hawks up the outside. There is no room service up there, but he's trying to make it work. A couple cars get together. It looks like Smith and Wise almost making contact as Williamson blinks back into existence. This should be the white flag right here. Well, he ain't waving the white flag, so don't quote me on that one either. But assuming that it is, Williamson getting loose on the outside, and the number 16 of Fisher holding tight down on the bottom. They're coming to the checkers, and it looks like it's all over but the crying, folks, as Fisher's going to come out of turn 4 and take the win, I think. Yes, he did. Good. I did it. Folks, thank you for your patience with me on this mini tape-delayed broadcast. I'm doing my best, I swear. Very happy to be back at this. Couldn't be doing it for a nicer group of folks. Great win there for Fisher. Hopefully he remembers to park it in victory lane as the fireworks go off. Well, with that, I'm going to try to do it again next week. And hopefully y'all enjoy this. Let me know. I know I have a lot of improvement to do, but we're getting there. See you next week.
What a race from start to finish in the Simabilty Just Legends Racing Series. Intense battles, clean racing, and plenty of moments that kept us on the edge of our seats. Our winner brings it home after a hard-fought run, managing traffic, pressure, and strategy all night long. And tonight's broadcast has been proudly brought to you by Admin Box and JB Custom Racing Creations. Thank you for supporting Simabilty Racing. From all of us here in the broadcast booth, thank you to the drivers, the league staff, and everyone watching at home for being part of another fantastic event. For the Simabilty Just Legends Racing Series, I'm TJ Jenkins saying good night, drive safe, and we'll see you at the next race.